Today, you're going to watch a man struggle. Struggle against a car that has been outside all its life, never once seeking shelter in a garage, or stepping away from its daily driver duties. Do you find enjoyment in that? I figured you might, you little devil. After all, you're back on BrunerTuner. So, sit down with your silly drink.
You, whatever you want, some vanilla bullshit, latte, kappa thing, you know, whatever you got.
And get ready for some more work on the Scion TC2 Ultimate Daily Driver. This is one dirty, filthy car.
Yeah, baby! Yeah.
Seriously, there's at least 1,000 calories in paint chips here. Dog tumbleweeds in the rear. A small, dead yard in the front. A Super Size Me documentary's worth of fast food crumbs. And enough dirt to bring down even top-level government figures. Oh yeah, and the headlights. Those just look like shit. But before we get to any cleaning on that, let's get the roof spoiler off and remove that failing old adhesive in favor of something that stinks. Let's do the same, but for the rear deck lid spoiler. We'd pulled that off in the last episode so we could perform some at-home bodywork, so let's get new double-sided tape and put that back in place. Now, for those headlights that look like shit. Let's remove those and get ready for the automotive equivalent of clear eyes.
For dry, red eyes, clear eyes is awesome.
Seriously, I hope this process I'm about to perform is as awesome as clear eyes. Step 1 is jack up your car, of course. Step 2 is have a beer. And then step 3, let's clean these off a bit before step 4, which is sanding them down. Some people will use progressive steps of sandpaper, but if you happen to watch the amazing channel that is RRC Restorations, he'll tell you to skip that in favor of just using 800 grit, and that's the best way. I've done this job several times over on various cars, and this is indeed the way.
This is the way.
Step 5 is to clean the surface like you do with any painting, and step 6 is to mask up and spray the clear coat. Don't bother using anything less than a 2K clear coat if you're doing this yourself, as it will hold up to the intense sunlight and keep your headlights from fading after a short while. Make sure and use a respirator, not just a dust mask. Step 7, profit. We'll take a closer look at these later, but let's move on to that dirty paint.
This is one of my favorite pieces of the car, actually. It's a honeycomb grill from a RS7 TC, which is a release series car. And you can see I found this at a junkyard. Still got a part number on there from it. And yeah, I paid like 70 bucks for this thing probably 6-7 years ago. And I always get asked about it, so here you go. So we've got this thing cleaned up, and what we're going to try and do is start to get rid of all that white overspray here. And I'm thinking about getting this thing PPF'd. That way it'll last a long time and, you know, protect this thing, because it's pretty dinged up overall, but you know, the paint is still pretty good in most places. And I think with a good polish and a protection like PPF on there, I think it's going to last us quite a while longer. We're going to try a clay bar here on this overspray. Personally, I don't think this is going to work considering how soft this is. It will help in that polishing process and pull a lot of that material out for us, but I don't think it's going to do anything for this overspray. It's been on there for probably near a year, and it's pretty baked on, and whatever paint it is seems pretty strong. So, but we're going to give it a try here and see if we can pick this up on camera.
You'll soon see that I was very wrong about that clay. My lack of experience with car detailing is clearly showing.
Huh, okay. It appears with a lot of effort, they will come out, but if I were to do this to the entire car, my elbows would collapse, and my hands would, they would look like the meme. My hands look like this, so that hers can look like that. Except for I wouldn't have hands anymore, it'd just be nubs. Okay guys, sorry, I'm a bit sick. I've been sick for the past few days, but good friends over in the Discord, shout out to Taylor and Michael and Travis, were saying, just want to clay the whole thing, and as it was looking, that was going to take a really, really long time to do just that. So they recommended getting one of these clay pads. This is actually like a synthetic clay pad. It's very interesting. So we're going to give this a try and see if this works. Alright, let's see how this works for us. It smells like peppermint. It smells amazing. This takes so long. Alright, I really think the clay bar was better for this. Okay, so finally ended up with what I really needed. That little hand one was not going to do the job, so we have this actual rotary 6-inch pad here, and this should hopefully do the trick for us. And let's see if that actually works or not. Yeah, I think that's actually going to work for us. This is going to take quite a long time because there's so much of it on this paint, but it's certainly faster and probably better than any other method that we could go with. Just going to put in my AirPods here and plug away at this. This is probably going to be quite a while that we'll be here. This is going to be very time consuming, so let's just go ahead and dig into it.
Let's settle into this, find a good rhythm, and spend a ton of time removing these paint chips.
So I forgot that I also picked up this iron remover from Adams. So this is going to actually dissolve small iron particles in the paint. So that's going to make doing this playing this a bit more gentle on the paint, because it's going to remove those iron particles so they're not swirling and damaging the clear and everything. car is cleaned and dried, I used that Adams iron remover because we are going to play some of this to get that overspray out. But now that the car is pretty cleaned up, let's take a look here and see exactly what we need to do with this paint. And there is plenty of it up here on the sunroof and moonroof area and the weather stripping. It's a real pain. Yeah, you see all that? That looks like water or something. That's paint. It's got some on the window over here as well. Further down the body, it's gonna be real hard to see a lot of this, but it's just absolutely everywhere on this car. It is hard to convey how many different spots this is in.
Alright, now is the time to really settle in and spend time getting the rest of the paint chips off this car. This is going to take quite a while, so let's just get into it and cue the music. While this looks like it would be a pain in the ass, well, it kind of is, but at the same time, it was really cathartic and nice to just be able to listen to my music and focus on making something nicer. A big theme of this build, and well, all of my builds, is doing it yourself. Life is so much more enjoyable when you can take the time out to hone in on something you enjoy and lose yourself in that process. Another core theme of this build is saving money. We're cheap around here. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the series, this car is being kept around because, well, it's a good car. And a good car that's paid off, and easy to run and repair. If you take care of the things that are good to you, they'll take good care of you back. Anyways, with us all being enlightened and finding Zen, let's jump back into reality.
Alright guys, well, we successfully took off pretty much all the overspray. It was a fair bit of work, but it wasn't insane. That plate pad really made all the difference, and then for the glass, the razor blade and the Hugon really helped a ton. So paint is nice and smooth everywhere. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to wash it all off because I have a lot of that detail spray and run everywhere, and there's just all sorts of little, it's the overspray like chips that have kind of sprayed onto the paint everywhere. So we're going to rinse this thing and make sure that it is actually pretty much all set to go.
I've lived and seen horror stories of PPF being so old and baked on that it can only be removed by taking the paint with it. 20-year-old PPF will do that. Ask my Z. So I want to get ahead of the curve and remove the old stuff and get new PPF in its place. I'm going to try and heat the PPF to make the removal process easier. Towel with hot water on it will help retain that heat in place and should make that process easier. Maybe sometimes.
This is f***ing miserable. I hate every minute of this. This just peels off in tiny pieces no matter what I do. Kinda don't think I want to do this anymore. This is really frustrating.
We'll leave the hood for now and just pull the rest of it off the mirrors. It's time to take the engine to the dentist and get rid of all that tartar, or dirt and grime, more like. I want to thank Super Clean for supplying us with the good stuff. Their line of degreasers and cleaners is top notch. I use this stuff to clean the chassis, as you would have seen in earlier episodes, and we're back for more. This time with the engine bay. They've been a long-time partner of the channel, so show them some love next time you're looking to get out of a greasy situation. With the TC all squeaky clean and smooth, we'll start to look at some paint correction via polishing the car. This SPTA kit I found on Amazon was about $100 and came with tons of items. There's certainly more quality polishers you can buy, no doubt, but I figured this might be a good way to dive into trying this myself. It comes with everything you need and then some. I'll link this in the video description if anyone else is interested in giving it a try.
Kiss the cook, baby. We're going to go with the red pad because there's quite a bit of oxidation. This car has lived its life outside for 10 years now. So there's quite a bit of oxidation that's quite yellow, and we want to cover a lot of surface area, aka the entire car. Ooh, the entire car. Too much whiskey for breakfast. So I'm going to bust this guy out and see how it should do. Remember, I've never polished a car, so don't use this necessarily as an instructional how-to, but more of an experiment, and yeah, I don't think we can make it any worse. I don't know what I want to say here, but just polish and see what happens. We do want to watch out for the clear bra here and everywhere else, of course, but right here, it's not the same line that followed, so we don't have to polish all the way down, so I'm not too concerned about it. There's a very visible line where the old clear brow used to be, so we just need to polish up to that.
I know that I'm using a ton of polish and that my technique is lacking, to say the least, but bear with me as I try to figure this out.
Nice.
Guys, it is not exactly working as I would have hoped it would. While it's certainly getting more refined each time you do it, I don't know how long it would take to really get the yellow oxidation off of the area that's, that was unprotected by the clear bra. So I think what I'm going to do is just cut the rest of the hood and then polish it out, and then I really think we're probably just going to have to live with the way that it is. It's unfortunate, but God, that must just require a ton of work, and I can't justify doing that for the whole car, especially when it's not going to be garage kept at all anyways. It's not worth it on this, honestly. Sometimes you got to know when to call it quits. But again, I'm going to cut the rest of the hood and then come back and polish it all, and we'll take a look at it then. But for the moment, take a look at the progress so far. This is the uncut side of the hood versus the cut side. It's very hard to get this to show up, but
While it certainly doesn't look perfect, I'm fairly happy with the cleanup we did. It's far less cloudy than it was. Moving on, I'll now finish the rest of the car so we can wrap up this lengthy detailing process. We did so much cleaning on the outside, it only makes sense that we should clean on the inside, right? Don't make me say it. Clean on the inside. The last thing we'll do here is to ceramic coat the car. This is not a true ceramic coat, rather it's a hybrid ceramic wax by Meguiar's. It's a lot easier and faster to apply than a traditional ceramic coat, and less expensive, but at the cost of longevity. This would need to be applied likely every few washes or months. I know you're all truly going to hate me for this, but I'm not going to do a full reveal of everything right now. I want to force some delayed gratitude upon you all, because, you know what, we're all in short supply of that these days. Thanks, Bezos. I promise it will be worth it when you see what the rest of the mods and everything finalized look like. We're not far off, I promise. I want to thank you all for watching, and if you enjoyed this video or series, consider liking or subscribing to the channel. We are a super small operation, and every bit of your support counts. Thanks so much, and we'll see you in the next episode.